Hello and welcome to Engine Adventures. Today we've got this 2022 Chevy Tahoe Z71 with the performance pack. You can see the quad tip exhaust. That means it's got the 6.2 liter V8 in it. Let's go ahead and take a look around. Of course, being a off-road package, red tow hooks. This is a Z71. It's currently sitting in the off-road height. So normal height is one below this, and there's an off-road plus or the extra height. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, there's one height it'll go up above where it's currently sitting, which means, as you already know, air suspension with the magnetic shocks. And let's pop the hood. And let's turn the wheel. Maybe we can get a look at those shocks. So you can kind of see it there at the bottom. The shock's inside of that air spring. So there you go. 6.2 liter V8 pushed all the way back in there. It's actually not too bad. Spark plug. Not too bad to get down in there. 6.2 liter V8, 420 horsepower, 460 foot-pounds of torque. It's a pretty great engine. It's not new by any means. This engine is actually quite old, but it's an excellent engine. Chevy's done an excellent job with it. Don't spray water into your air intake. It's not good. Anyway, really love this engine. I've enjoyed driving it. Fuel mileage, it's okay. It's 6.2 liter V8 with a lot of power, and fuel mileage kind of reflects that. I think I've been averaging just under 17 combined. It's been idling here for a minute for all the shots and whatever, but anyway, there's a pretty good shot of that spring shock there inside of it. And same thing on the rear. It does have a fake skid plate here, but a real one back behind it. So yeah, you have a little bit of protection down lower there, but if you're going to be dragging up a hill or something like that, you know, have a steep approach angle and you end up dragging that, it's just plastic. Great vehicle overall. It's 210 inches long, which puts you at 19 feet basically. Is that right? Anyway, it's pretty long and pretty big overall. It's just a big, wide, tall vehicle. Comes with the Z71. Because it's an off-road package, you get giant wheels, 20-inch wheels. I don't really understand 275/60 R20s, why when you get the off-road package you get this side step and 20-inch wheels to go with it. Let's take a look inside. As expected inside, very wide vehicle. Oh, it's a long reach to get to the other side. Also to the back seats. It does have a function here, buttons here, so you can fold those rear seats from here, change the height of the door, and if you push that, it opens and closes the rear hatch, I should say, not door. Oh yes, I forgot about that. So if you're ever being carjacked, you're in super big trouble, gotta hurry up and get whatever you have hidden in here to defend yourself. It's going to take you a month, but there is that secret storage to store other valuables. I wouldn't use it for self-protection, but as far as storing other things you don't want people to take, you can't really access that unless the vehicle is on. Kind of a cool thing for some people. I would prefer not to have it, I think. Yeah, lots and lots of buttons on this. So left side, you got the four-wheel drive, suspension height. You push that, it brings it up on the screen, and you can adjust. I want higher, maximum, increased, normal, and entry exit mode. We are currently in the increase, so we'll leave it there. When you're in the normal mode and you throw it in park, it automatically starts to lower down and goes to entry exit mode, which is nice. And then instead of pushing that button, if you just twist it, you get to your different drive modes. So you have normal, sport, off-road and tow haul. We're gonna go ahead and keep it in the off-road mode, and you can see it change here on the right-hand side. Shows you what mode you're in and what position on the transfer case. And that's good because here it's hard to see. I don't think they even have lights here. It's 2 high or 2-wheel drive, whatever. Auto, 4 high, 4 low. So it is a 2-speed transfer case with a 272 to 1, I believe. Low range ratio. Crawl ratio is about 42 to 1. We'll just talk about that in the off-road video more. Here's your light switch. Controls your lighting. This is to dim the gauges, and then of course your headlights. No fog lights on this one. And your trailer brake controller is here, so you can't see it while you're driving, but it's not hard to reach. So if you are towing a trailer, make sure you practice that and know where that is. If you get in an emergency situation, you want to be able to get to that quick. It's not necessarily a bad spot, it just can't be seen, so it's much better if you practice. I would prefer it to be somewhere over here where both the passenger and the driver can see it, and it can be seen, easy to reach there. But here it's not too bad as long as you know that it's there. Lane departure, traction control, and same thing as most of the others. If you push it once, it just turns off traction control. If you push it and hold it for a few seconds, it will disable stability control as well. And by a few seconds, I believe it's like 10. Brought up the light there. I missed it, so it may have come up a little bit earlier, but anyway. Then your parking sensors, your downhill assist. Just slows you down, keeps you when you're going downhill. And then the 360 camera button is here. So that's another button that's very useful. You're pulling into a tight parking spot here off-road. You're getting close to some boulders or something. It's a big vehicle, hard to see the corners a little bit. If you're familiar with it, been driving it for a while, it might be much easier, but you can hit that button and get a surround view and adjust all your different camera angles. And it doesn't stay up when you're in drive. It'll go away fairly quickly, so you have to be aware of where it is and be able to get to it pretty quick so you don't hold up traffic if you're pulling into a tight parking stall, or if you're off-road and want to continue moving. It's nice to know where that is so you can hit it real quick without having to stop, look over where it is. I think it's something I'll get used to, or an owner would get used to, whereas I'm switching vehicles every week. It's a little bit harder for me. It does have the off-road pages here, and it shows steering angle, what the transfer case is doing, and your pitch and roll. And then of course, I do want to show you the trip meters. 16.4 average over 1,300 miles. I've been getting 15. Like I said, I've been doing better than that until recently. I just started idling quite a bit. Yeah, overall, it's not very fuel efficient. It's not terrible. Like I said, a big V8, a lot of power, but it's just not as great as some of the other ones could be. It does have the trans temp gauge, which is good. You have to pull it up here. It doesn't have it on the regular gauges there. Transmission, push it for park, pull for reverse, push for neutral, pull for drive, push to lock it into a gear. It does have a decent screen. I haven't had any issues with it. It's nice when I go to this screen and use this to scroll through the Sirius stations. That is the most convenient way if you're scrolling through a bunch of stations. I like having it there. And then of course, when I'm off-road or whatever, leave it up on, did I skip it? Oil live. There it is, the off-road page. Steering wheel heaters, seat heaters. You can heat just the back or the back and the bottom. 3-zone climate control, so the rear has their own separate zone, and you can control that from the front. Of course, if you want, hit the rear climate button and it's off. You turn it on, then you can adjust airflow in the rear. Wireless charging here, 2 USBs, 12-volt outlet there, and in here are the headphones for the rear seat entertainment. I didn't mess with that much this time. I tried to figure it out when I had a Denali and couldn't get it working right. So, weird pocket here that's super deep. Like, not sure what that's for. Here in the middle row, there's plenty of room. This seat is slid all the way back. Nope, it wasn't. Now it's slid all the way back. Tons of space in here, and the third row seats actually do hit the second row seats if you have the second row all the way back. So if you're gonna be using the third row seats, it's convenient to slide the second row seat forward a little bit, and I'll have to go to the rear to lift up those. Nope, I can do it from here. There we go. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Heated seats for the captain's chairs in the middle row. Of course, the climate control there, and it has the 110, 115, 120 volt outlet, whatever that is. It has that there, and the button to turn that on is up right behind the steering wheel, in that left bank of buttons. It has the armrests, and like I said, I didn't mess with these screens just because it didn't really work for me before, and I haven't had a lot of time to get it to work this time around. So anyway, we'll leave those alone for now. Climb back here in the third row. And one thing to note is while the third row has the top tether, it doesn't have anchors down there for car seats. So I did put one child back here. I have 3 car seats now. Put one child back here, but just had to use the seat belt to hold the seat into place. Decent legroom. This is not all the way back. It can go back just a little bit more, but you saw how much legroom I had up there in front. So you can easily fit 3 adults in all 3 rows that are 5'10". I bet you can get 6 foot in here in all 3 rows pretty easy. And this button here will fold the seat. We'll do that in just a minute. There is a single USB-C on each side, and that same cup holder and tray on both sides as well. So go ahead and hit this button. And it did smash my boot into the ground a little bit, but anyway, that folds that seat nice and easy real quick. And then if you want to get out, just tumble it there. It is nice that these seats slide back and forth and tumble and fold flat. So all 3 of those features, I can see a use for them at different times. When I'm driving, I prefer to leave it up. Not sure what got that all dirty. Anyway, I prefer to leave it up like this because the seats do kind of bounce. It was mostly off-road. They do bounce around a little bit when you're off-road. Decent amount of storage here, and not much underneath there. You can fold the seats here, left and right. And the headrest didn't quite fold in time. Oh, and I have the seat too far back. So you can see there, it doesn't fold all the way with the seat all the way back. But you can tumble the second roll from here as well. As long as you don't have someone in there, you can hit those buttons twice. Maybe I have to hold it. There you go. Apparently I have to hold it, even though it says hit it twice. And then another 110 volt outlet here. A couple of anchor points, grocery bag holders. This is for the window shade if you do use that. And behind here is your jack for changing your tire. Behind here is your hitch for towing, and a spare tire there, which is not a matching spare. It's the same size, but not same tire as these Goodyear Wrangler trail runners. One thing that drives me nuts, on a lot of vehicles, rear glass doesn't open. On this one, you can use the key fob, or there's a button right there, pops it open. Manufacturers need to keep doing that. If you put something back here, it's rolling around, you open the rear hatch and it goes rolling out onto the ground. So it's kind of sad to see that a lot of them are going away from this, giving you less utility. And I'm happy to see that GM is keeping that on the Tahoe, Yukon, and Escalade. Let's grab a 0 to 60 here. We are in 2-wheel drive only. We'll see how it goes. If I spin the tires too much, we'll try in 4-wheel drive auto. And all I'm gonna do is no brake torquing or anything, just flat foot it. 3, 2, 1, go. .28. That's what the computer's reading. So I'm in just normal comfort mode, whatever it is, normal mode. And this thing has a magnetic suspension. Let me turn it over to sport mode. see if it makes a difference on this one right here. It does lower, it has air suspension as well, so it lowers it a little bit in sport mode. But I mean, with the magnetic shocks, it really remains pretty flat for a vehicle this size in the corners. Like, you can drive it more aggressive than you should. And on the flip side of that, the magnetic shocks help a ton with smooth on-road ride. This thing is incredibly smooth on-road, and I really need to drive a Cadillac sedan, full-size sedan, with this magnetic suspension to see if there's a big difference, because typically the sedans ride much better than the SUVs. But this thing does pretty darn good. It's a highway cruiser for sure with the 6.2 liter, and I love the magnetic suspension when it's new. Oh, sorry, magnetic shocks with the air suspension. I don't know how this stuff works long term, if there are any reliability issues with it or whatever. I don't like the complexities of it if you're lifting it and that kind of stuff, but as far as stock goes, it's an excellent setup. Merging onto the freeways, no problem with the 6.2, especially this one's a downhill on-ramp, so super easy to get up to speed. And I do actually have to watch my speed in this thing, because as I hit, you know, open road or whatever, I will definitely be able to go, or not be paying attention, I will definitely be going faster than I originally want to, just because it cruises so well. The 10 speed is hardly noticeable. I mean, if I jump on it right now, 3, 2, 1, and you see it takes like a second or two to downshift, but it's really, if you're normal driving and not just going full throttle out of nowhere, it does pretty good. Like all the other 10 speeds, it's got to figure out what gear to be in when you floor it, and it takes a while to shift down through the gears to get there. But with 460 foot-pounds of torque, I don't know what gear it's actually in. I wonder if I hit the low. It was in 10th. And let's see if it'll go back to 10th there. 1800 RPM, it's 73 miles an hour, 10th gear. So really, I mean, the torque comes on down low. It doesn't really have to downshift when you're accelerating just a little bit. And like I said, if you're not paying attention, it will take off on you, and you'll end up going much faster than you originally had planned. It drives super nice. I mentioned already the magnetic shocks with the air ride. This thing just cruises, and it's an excellent highway cruiser. I've had a couple of these before in the form of a Yukon Denali and an Escalade, and I believe I've had one of these Z71s, but I'm not 100% on that. But anyway, that was in California when I was on a trip, and I wasn't able to do the full testing, so we'll be sure to check out the off-road video, because there will be a full test video on this Tahoe. Not much to say. I mean, it's just excellent. I don't have any complaints with it on the highway. I don't have any complaints with it around town, except when you're starting off the line. Sometimes it's a little more jumpy for some reason. I don't know. One cool thing is this one is missing the auto stop start, so I don't have to deal with that. And Chevy gives you a $50 discount for that, and I believe once the parts for it come back into stock, they will install it for free, but I'm not 100% on that. Real quick on the Monroney, the window sticker, base price for a 2022 Tahoe 4-wheel drive Z71, $60,300. Add in the, I'm not quite sure how this all works out, Z71 off-road package, luxury package, $5,985. It includes HD surround vision, second row, split seats, whatever, all that stuff. Heated outboard seats, the third row, anyway, heated steering wheel, heated mirrors, lots and lots of stuff. And it includes the driver alert package, which is the rear cross traffic and the lane change alert. Also, off-road capability package with the electronic limited slip rear differential, magnetic ride control, air suspension, The max trailering package with enhanced cooling radiator, trailer brake controller. The off-road performance package is not included in that, but so I'm not sure if that's like the entire Z71 package or if this is on top of the standard Z71 trim level. Anyway, the off-road performance package is $2,615, and it comes with a 6.2 liter V8 and the dual exhaust tips, which is quad exhaust tips. There's 2 exhaust tips on either side. Rear seat multimedia system, basically $2,000, and then a few other. This is $370 for this captain chairs and $350 for this power sliding console, center console. Then there's a $50 discount because it doesn't have stop start, and $50 discount because there is no steering wheel lock, so you can turn the wheel and it never locks. And I believe those will be reinstalled for free if you want to add them back later. Total options $11,000 with destination of $1,695. $500 savings brings it to $72,710 for this 2022 Tahoe. Thank you for watching Engine Adventures review of this 2022 Chevy Tahoe Z71 with the Performance Pack 6.2 liter V8. Really enjoy driving this thing on the road. Just cruises. Bad gas mileage is par for the course with these vehicles. Look at the Grand Wagoneer or even the regular Wagoneer with the 5.7 Hemi instead of the 6.4. Yeah, you're just kind of going to be in the teens for your fuel mileage there. So other than that though, I mean, pretty great vehicle all around. High-speed off-road, it's not its best thing, but if you're doing a little bit of stuff here and there, and if you need to get into a tight situation or out of a tight situation, you can raise up the air suspension, and it does okay. And be sure to watch the off-road video to see all that. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos, and give me a thumbs up. Also, be sure to comment with any questions, comments. Did you like the vehicle? Did you not like it? Did you give me a thumbs down? Please let me know why. Although I think the dislike button is now gone. I've been saying that for a while, but I think the dislike button's gone. But if there's stuff you didn't like, be sure to let me know. Thanks again. Have a great day.